Hi, my name is Kai.
Hi, my name is Alejandra.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and this is our Ozone Project.
Ozone is formed both in the troposphere and the stratosphere, but its effects are different in both locations. In the stratosphere, it protects us from harmful UV lights entering the atmosphere. Ozone in the troposphere is not emitted directly into the air, but rather it is formed by chemical reactions between nitrogen oxides and VOCs in the presence of sunlight. This ground-level ozone is the main precursor to smog and other harmful health effects.
Breathing ground-level ozone can trigger a variety of health problems, including chest pain, coughing, throat irritations, and congestion. Repeat exposure may permanently scar lung tissue. Ozone also damages vegetation. In the United States alone, ozone is responsible for an estimated 500 million in reduced crop production each year. These effects include first, making them more susceptible to certain disease, insect, and other pollutants. Second, reducing forest growth and crop yield potentially impact species diversity in ecosystem.
The place we want to focus on for our study is the San Joaquin Valley. This valley is important because it exceeds the ozone NOx limit several times throughout the year. The San Joaquin Valley is surrounded by mountains that create ideal conditions for trapping air pollution. This valley is the #1 agricultural region in the nation, and agriculture is known to produce many VOCs. San Joaquin Valley is also in the middle of major roadways and highways for large diesel trucks, which can emit a lot of NOx. Not only are there many emissions formed in San Joaquin Valley, but NOx and other harmful emissions are also blown in from the Bay Area and trapped in the valley. However, ARB believes we are firmly in a NOx-limited regime, so the most effective way to lower ozone is to reduce NOx. Because of this, NOx has been the main focus of reductions for California and is set to decrease even more in all vehicles in the upcoming years.
What we want to find out is if the valley is actually NOx limit in all regions and all seasons, and if it is, how does this affect the formation of ozone. It is important to know that typically isoplans vary dramatically at different locations. Typically, downwind of urban area are NOx limit region, while denser urban area are actually VOC limit region.
We can take a look at 3 different scenarios from this graph. NOx reductions initially increase ozone production at high NOx, followed by a decreasing NOx production at low NOx. This scenario occurs where dramatic reductions in diesel truck traffic results in lower NOx emissions. VOC reductions have the effect of proportionally reducing ozone production at high NOx and of negligibly changing ozone production at low NOx, reducing NOx and VOC simultaneously. This transition is typically of what has occurred over the last decade in cities where vehicle emissions dominate both NOx and VOCs.
Since ARB suggests we are in a NOx-limited regime, this means that fluctuations in NO2 concentration should result in similar fluctuations in ozone concentration. ARB collects ambient emissions data using sensors placed all around California. If we plot the data from different areas in the San Joaquin Valley, we can collectively see how ozone reacts to different spikes in NOx and VOCs. Unfortunately, ARB does not collect data on VOCs, so we will use non-methane hydrocarbons to get a general idea of VOC concentrations. Taking a look at Fresno and Tulare, we see that these 2 areas are significantly impacted by NOx. If we look at winter in Tulare last year, we see strong correlations between NOx and ozone. During the ozone-forming months in summer, we see not as strong of a correlation between ozone and NO2, but the peaks and divots still match up. The same correlations are seen for the Fresno area. This shows that ozone does have a strong correlation with NOx all year round in different areas in the San Joaquin Valley.
During winter time in Fresno, the VOC ozone correlation is not as strong, although both follow the same trend. During summer, ozone concentrations are not sensitive to reductions or production of VOCs, which suggests NOx limited.
In this NOx plot, we can see that the NOx reduced year by year. Comparing these 2 plots, we can understand that ozone also reduced year by year. NOx limit region, this means that fluctuation in NOx concentration should result in similar fluctuation in ozone concentration.
Understanding that San Joaquin Valley is a NOx-limited regime, possible solutions in future work include 1. Loss of federal highway funding, which can lead to over $2 billion per year. 2. Federal EPA takes over the local program and inputs a federal implementation plan. This could include no drive days and no farm days. These strategies help San Joaquin Valley reduce ozone. According to the ozone data from the EPA, we could see ozone concentration reducing in 2010, 2015, and 2018 year by year.